We're back with Matt's top three, and this has been a long time coming.
Before getting to that, though, this transmission had to get out. Since I just got the engine out, I figured that this was going to be the next best use of my time just to get it out of the way. So I crawled underneath the car and took a look at the drive shaft, which has definitely seen better days. This thing has to get out of the transmission before I could do anything, so I threw my tools underneath the car and got to work. While I didn't necessarily get the perfect camera angle for this, there were these tiny bolts that I had to undo first so that this thing could sort of shimmy out. They were holding in these tiny U-bolts, which I very delicately tried hammering and pulling out, just to find out that this thing really did not want to move. So I took a different approach to see if I could forcefully get it out, and by using the back of the hammer, I was actually able to unhook this thing from the rear, which meant now that it wasn't hooked up to anything, I could just pull it from the transmission. All things considered, I made pretty quick work of this, which I'm very impressed with myself about. So I went and stood in the engine bay and shimmied the transmission until I got it to the point where I could take one of my wheel dollies and sort of place it on top of it. This is definitely by no means the proper way of doing this, and if you have a lift, I highly recommend using that instead, because I had to jack this thing up extremely jank to pull this transmission out. But with all that out of the way, this is the transmission that we'll end up rebuilding for the final build. If you're doing this yourself, I definitely recommend using a lift because this was not fun to try and clean up. Anyway, I moved our new drive shaft and put it next to the other one in my collection, took a look at my work, and moved on because we finally got our engine back. This thing looks pristine. I mean, I was worried about driving it home the entire time, hoping that it wouldn't fall out. I was staying under the speed limit. I was nervous. Thankfully, I made the trip all right, so I unearthed all of my engine mount stuff and got to work. I used as many bungee cables as I could while I was moving this thing because I did not want it to roll around at all. And I mean, come on, look at that thing. The guys up at Nashua Engine Rebuilders did a fantastic job with this, so I wanted to make sure that I did everything in my power not to mess this up. I took my sweet time when it came to trying to make sure that all these measurements were good so I could get it on the stand. But once it was good, I rolled it into the shop and took one more look at it because come on. This thing is amazing looking. I mean, this is what it used to look like. I'm super excited to rebuild this motor eventually, but that's for a different day.
Follow this page as I attempt to complete one of my top three.